If you ever wondered what 25,000 letters might look like, just ask Brandeis Professor Anita Hill. She estimates there are about that many in her basement. Hill's been storing the bulk of these letters for 17 years, following sexual harassment testimony she delivered against Clarence Thomas during the Supreme Court Senate confirmation hearings in 1991. She recently began paging through them for the first time.
Initially started reading the letters. It was very emotional. Very emotional. I mean, it was so emotional that at the end of the day, I'd be just exhausted from just trying to work through all of the feelings that I had around those hearings.
But Hill has put her emotions into perspective in the name of research, spurred by a visiting fellowship at Wellesley College. She's reading each letter, supportive or not, to see what she might discover about human nature.
I think a lot of people probably would have assumed that I would receive letters from people talking about sexual harassment. But I also got letters from people who talked about civic participation and the need for better gender representation in government, the need for us to deal with issues of race as a society.
People of all demographics wrote to Hill, and a common theme she's found so far is that people often look beyond the opinions of leaders, whether political or religious, to reach their own decisions on issues.
And the information doesn't just include lining up behind your party. They go out, they read newspapers, at least in 1991, and I have no reason to believe it's not true today. They read newspapers, they collect the information, they watch the television very carefully.
While many of these letters are 17 years old, Hill says her discoveries about human nature are still relevant today, most recently with the presidential race.
Certainly they listen to leadership, but they're not compelled to follow partisan leadership. They talk to their neighbors, they talk to their friends, they talk to family members to sort these issues out. And that's the kind of thing that I think can happen in this election.
It's a lesson in civic engagement that Hill says is encouraging. In 1991, many people didn't just sit back and watch the hearings, they were compelled to write. She received another large surge of letters the following year during the presidential election.
Not only do they talk about the hearings and talk about politics and become engaged in that way, they carried that energy into 1992 and got more involved when it came to voting and supporting candidates. And that's really, really exciting.
So far, Hill has read a few thousand letters and is pledging to get to all of them. She may publish her findings in a book, but for now, her main focus is to figure out how people process issues and how they decide when it's time to take action.
These letters can teach us a lot, and I want to absorb as much of it as I can.
Marsha McEachern, Brandeis Now.